we'll do the inquiry now, and it'll be about either one of the practices that we did. Oh, everybody done? Oh, just about, almost, sorry. Take your time, well, a couple more minutes, okay? So we'll take some time now to share what you've written on your inquiry sheet. So that's okay. So it was thank you, writing your inquiry about either the choiceless awareness activity or the mindful walking. So we can just go with whoever, we don't have to go in a circle, we could go with whoever wants to share today. Go ahead, Blaine.
I'll start.
Uh-huh.
All right. I did my mindfulness walking, and I spent a good deal of it outside of the building. And when I did, there was that sweltering heat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would not believe how hot it is.
Why did you do that?
Well,
That sounds like a bad idea.
well, to simply walk the same hall for the next 10 minutes would have been boring.
Well, and he brought some awareness to that too. So he had,
Yeah, you are alive. I
he
have
brought some
provisions.
awareness to your body sensations because of the heat.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Anything else you want to share?
Well, I mean, there was also the usual pressure on my feet whenever I took a step.
Okay.
Like, no more or less than other times I walked.
Okay, but really, did you notice that you were bringing awareness to that
Yes.
as you walked along? Okay. Good. Any particular thoughts or emotions that came up as you were doing that? Did you notice?
Well, I was bothered by the heat.
Okay.
With the AC in here.
Okay, so your body sensations, your awareness that came up about your body sensations from the heat,
Yeah.
and then also your thoughts about it as it
Yes.
came up. So that's good. So you were with your awareness there,
Yeah.
and the thoughts that came up. So you brought some awareness to those thoughts. Good.
Okay.
Good. Who else? Yeah, go ahead.
So I kind of did both kind of things, but during the sitting practice, I felt like I wasn't really thinking about anything, like it was just like blank inside,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like hearing things, like I could hear the chairs moving, I could hear people breathing deeply
Okay.
and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I had a really bad headache, so I actually stopped in my mom's office and
Oh.
got medicine during the walk, because I'm like, I
Uh-huh.
can't, because it was pounding in my skull, and I'm like, I can't do this.
So even some awareness there as you did that. So you were talking about during that choiceless awareness, like whatever came to mind, and yours was the sounds that were coming, and then the sensations about your head, and then also like making that choice. You know,
Like,
so
I
that's
could have either left it alone, or like, I'm
Yeah.
going to my mom, I'm going to.
and that I think
Even though
that's
she'd be in her office, so I tried.
right. And so making a wise choice about what it is you're going to do there, but slowing down so that you had that awareness come up about the sensations you were having, and then making a choice based on that. That's good. And I think that that's the purpose of like what we're doing here, is having those opportunities and then having the space to make that choice. Good. Kenny.
I noticed that my sitting posture, sitting the chair backwards, that was a mistake.
Okay, so
That was not conducive to sitting still, but I did manage. I noticed how quiet it was, very quiet,
okay.
outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed myself rocking back and forth with my breath.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I was-
So I hear a lot of things that are coming up for your awareness. So like your awareness of your breath, your body posture, the sensations from changing your position when you sat, and having that come up. Mm-hmm.
The thoughts weren't much. It was just some stuff, some conversations I had, some stuff about a game I'm playing.
Uh-huh.
Very much like, very loose and not
Yeah.
much.
So I think that's interesting too, because at this time, and you're bringing up, you guys are coming up with, I hear during these practices, more than one thing coming up. It's not just the sound awareness or thought awareness. It's like, Kitty, you were just giving an example of like moving from the body sensations to the sounds, to the thoughts. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, go ahead, Philip.
The biggest thing was the feeling of a tingling coldness
Okay. Uh-huh.
from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to ignore it while I do the breathing and the the thoughts and stuff,
Okay, uh-huh,
and just my body shuddering.
okay,
Like an iceberg,
okay,
feeling like an iceberg, and for the walking, immediately going outside and letting the heat just wash over me, and having the feeling of that tingling going away.
mm-hmm,
So in a way, for me, the heat was a relief.
mm-hmm. So noticing that, if you're talking about the change in how your body felt, you know, being aware of that and being slowing down. So that's good, bringing awareness to that.
And also the awareness of how the university was made, and how thinking of how easy it is to get lost and what kind of stuff went on during the past,
Uh-huh,
and then walking to the staircase that leads to the basement level,
uh-huh.
and having all these thoughts about what kind of incidents went down there.
So lots of awareness of your thoughts in there. Yeah, good. All of that awareness that you're talking about, and that's exactly what we're practicing doing, is having that space for that awareness and recognizing what's going on during that, when you're bringing, just seeing what comes up and when you're bringing attention to it and just letting it happen, and seeing whether it's the body sensations, the emotions, the aware, and as it comes and goes. Yeah. Who else had something they would like to share? Yes, go ahead.
I find it a really pleasant feeling to free myself of mental tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think during the day, I'm kind of thinking about a lot of things for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I should reference other things, but there are a lot of TED Talks lately about mindfulness. And
Mm-hmm.
one of them just says that we've got way too many notifications. And I think that my brain has actually been trained to work like that. So it's like each thought is a little text message. And I switch to
okay.
that.
Uh-huh.
And it's
And your
really
attention goes to
pretty
that.
short, and I'm going to another one.
Mhm.
And I think it causes a lot of mild anxiety throughout my whole day, because I'm trying to think of all these things at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's really calming to just sit here and let it go.
Mm-hmm. And like kind of like whatever comes up, happen, and let it take its course, right? Not having to act on it, so that awareness that you can just let that happen. Yeah. Good. And I think that that's exactly what it is that you're practicing. You know, we're talking about flexing that muscle to get good at doing it. So you're mentioning like with the text messages, you know, like kind of, you know, being trained to do that, and now you're flexing another muscle to let yourself have that space to be able to just let something happen and take its course without having to act on it. So that bringing that awareness to that is good. Yeah, very good. Good practice.
I just want to point out, whenever I heard phones, I had that thing like, oh, is it my phone?
Yeah.
And I felt like I would have to check it, but then like, whenever I just leave and I don't have my phone, I feel like much better.
Given that freedom, you know, so you're like aware of kind of just the freedom too in your mind of just being able to let things just happen. Yeah, good. All that awareness that you're bringing to it is the practice that we're doing. Anybody else have one that they want to share? Yeah, Trey.
I noticed that, like, I seemed like really restless in my mind. I got really tired in my body.
Oh, so you were noticing like some differences, being aware of mind versus body, the sensations in your body,
Yeah, like
you
I was
know,
having,
or
like a lot of thoughts.
okay.
And my body was like, can you just chill?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, let's think. And
Yeah, and that awareness that you can have both of those happening at the same time and
yeah.
letting it
and I was
be.
just trying to be like, let the thoughts go.
Okay,
So,
good. That's good awareness. All of these things that you're bringing up are exactly what you're supposed to be doing in this practice. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Okay, so what was I aware of for the sitting and the mindful practice? So the sitting practice, I was aware of how much work it was to process certain components around the language, like when it's more open-ended and more abstract versus, or if it's like some sort of double negative or don't let your mind go wherever, but don't da-da-da-da-da, like whenever that happens, it's
Uh-huh.
it's a lot of work. And
Okay.
then like that, I think that, I'm like, oh, that's what the agitation is, but trying to figure out what the agitation, for me, but like that's, it is that feeling of like, like wait, okay, and trying to like balance that. But the walking, like why is walking always easier? And I think walking is easier because if and same with the sitting, if I can like take advantage of some sort of like repetitive or rhythmic thing or stimming, or like when I used to swim, I would do this way that I would strip, and then I could breathe in a very rhythmic pattern. And it's the same when I walk, my feet start creating a rhythm. And so then I focus on the rhythm, or I can see something very like here that is very real. And I don't have to focus on language, and that's easier.
Okay.
And then, so the physical sensations, it's hot.
It is.
It's hot, that's it. And then the thoughts or the emotions, just connecting, I think, what it is when I'm a little bit like why is it agitation when sometimes people, when they're talking, and I think it's the processing.
Yeah, so being aware kind of like of the emotions and the thoughts that come up related to that other part.
Yeah, like
Is
when
that-
somebody's talking,
yeah.
and then what I have to do is I have to then internalize and like, what is that? What are they saying? What's the message? What does that mean? And a lot of the what does it mean, or like what do they mean by that? Why are they saying it that way? Or like what does that mean? It's open, you know, and more like abstract than that is very like triggers frustration and confusion.
Okay.
And then I'm like, but I don't know what that is. It's just agitation and like general agitation.
I think I get what she's saying.
Yeah.
And I
You know what I'm
noticed
saying?
when I was walking, I could kind of like sweep the thoughts away much easier. And like when her phone went off, I was like, what's happening, what's happening? It's like almost triggering.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, so I kind of relate with what she's saying.
Yeah, just processing something else, like having to stop and then process
And
language,
process
and
that.
then what do you need, what does that mean, why do I say it, am I doing it the right way, or trying to figure out.
So
how-
all those thoughts coming up, and then I heard you also just talking about the emotion too, like, well, frustrating.
Yeah,
and-
like what do you mean by
yeah.
that, like what does that mean, and especially like don't think of like, okay, well then don't, and I'm trying to like grab the thought and bring it in, and trying to
Don't think of an
control. Huh?
Right.
What?
Don't think of an elephant.
Yeah, don't think of an elephant yet.
Right.
Yeah, don't notice the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
Oh, it's in the middle of the room, how do I not notice it? Type of thing, yeah.
Okay, good, thanks for sharing that.
You what?
Slightly different phrase involving an elephant, well, not the same.
But,
Yeah, but,
but it's kind of,
Yeah,
that's how I
get what
process
you're
it.
that's how it, yeah, exactly.
But I'd have to go through that whole rigmarole, and then it's like, by the time she gets to something else, I'm like,
Yes.
wait, what?
Yes, exactly.
well, that's
Or
good
exactly what
awareness
happens.
that you're bringing to that. Thanks for
And
sharing
it's-
that about all of those pieces of awareness that are coming up and
You
it's
have to go through this
connected.
whole process.
Yes, and by the time I'm there, then there's a new thing, and so when you're talking, I'm processing language the entire time, picking out the important pieces, identifying, are you trying to say this or this, and then I'm trying to do it, and then we move on, and I'm like, well, you know, it's a lot of work, and I didn't realize how much work I do consistently to do that.
Oh, so some awareness there, bringing
Yeah.
in that.
Well, I don't know what the agitation is, like, what's the agitation? And I'm like,
Yeah, maybe
I just
just
need to
like
accept
being-
it, I just need, and I'm like, no, it's the
Or
language.
just being aware that it's there, like, oh, this agitation is coming up, and it's an emotion that's surfacing up, and being aware of it, I think is like, an important part, and like a good, first step or a good purpose for doing this kind of activity.
Well, like, compliance and wanting to do a good job or do it the right way is important to me, so when I'm like, I can't figure out what's expected, or like, what does that instruction mean, what does that require, what does that mean, trying to take it, and then it moves on.
And then I think, I kind of relate with her, because I think where it comes in for me, and maybe the agitation or frustration comes from, is, oh my gosh, now I feel like I have to catch up, and I feel like I'm behind,
Yes,
now I feel like I
yes.
have to rush. And then you just get that.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you wanna do a good job,
I can't
yeah.
explain the feeling, it's just the.
Like, wait, or like, what does that mean, like, wait, stop, and I wanna like, that's just like, that's mostly a consistent feeling in my life, but
Okay.
it's aware that
So
it's-
that came up about, like, in this practice, like, you
Yes,
had that
like,
feeling of
that's
making
what
the
that
connection.
is.
That's what that is.
But the rhythm of the
Uh-huh.
walking is different. I mean, it's not the language part, and it's easier for me to calm down, or if I have this, and then I'm rocking, or if I'm stimming, like, it's
Okay.
an easier.
Great, yeah, thanks for sharing all that awareness that you had there and the connections, that's good, and thanks for making, you adding on to that, talking about your experience, good. So yeah, so that's, I mean, that, what you did in that and seeing like kind of what comes up and then, you know, what comes up in your awareness, knowing that you were actually experiencing awareness at that moment is a big part of what you're doing. And then all of the different pieces, so I heard a lot of people talking about the different things that came up moment to moment. And it may not have been like one thing, but as it moved along, it might be something else, or the next moment something else. So the awareness is what you're looking for to do in these practices, so good. Is there any last thing anybody wanted to share before we take a break? I just said the magic word, before we take a break. Now nobody wants to share.
Don't think about the break.
Yeah, don't think about the break. Well, we'll take a 5-minute break here and then come back. Thanks for sharing. Okay.
That's great.
I don't know, it's like magic inside it, and basically like, it could be like walks into this, you don't have to be, and now it can just be like that. Nature creates some sort of, they have, these are the indoor, you know, they have like this, where, okay, Costco, it was amazing too. It was like so many, but it's like, no, but this is the same thing, but they're ridiculous costs, which is why I took yeah, I know, but it's my favorite, it's like my favorite thing, I have multiple things, because they charge, you know, if it runs out, then I have to use it. Yeah, that, I mean, it's so, such a part of, necessary part of, is doing so much training. So the COVID, and so far. Start in the middle of the story because I start scripting in my head.
And sometimes I'm just like, what?
Figured out and how you. Then why did you give me those question marks? I got sent right. What? And then I got 2 question marks. It was after I said push the number up on the sprayer. Oh. Okay, now I just want to make sure you figured it out. I still feel like I should owe you something though.
Okay.
Seriously, that's it? You don't want anything? Like I was, well,